I believe there are 3 distinct modes you can spend your valuable time on Screamer. The Torment, a glorified tutorial mode with a few cutscenes sprinkled in it.
Yeah, whatever. Let's get to the good bit.
The online multiplayer mode, which already had better days. And the very enjoyable and surprisingly creative mode known as Score Challenge. Honestly, I have been waiting to do a video on this particular mode for a while now, as I really enjoy its almost arcade cabinet-like progression, harking back to personal favorite games of mine. The fact that you can unlock almost everything by just playing it, and especially that leaderboard, always alluring you to try just one more run. Which brings me to the topic of this video. How the heck do I get a high score on it? Milestone clearly does not care to tell you, and I really wanted to get the highest score on Lavina because I just freaking love her car. So far, I knew that I had to go for the long ride, which adds 2 extra races to the whole run, going very hard on all events to maximize that 5 times multiplier, focusing your first and only free track selection on tracks with explorable shortcuts and underperforming AIs. Stuff like Lower Reservoir, Valley of the Beast, or Ashes to Ashes for example. Then, when racing, bring your Burnout Road Rage A game to try to stack as much KO as possible, usually in the midst of 5 to 10 kills per race, to add more fighting points to your final score. Using the aforementioned shortcuts to catch up to the leaders when needed, and snatching the victory to progress to the next events, rinse and repeat. The problem shows when you do all that, and the score looks something like this. Then you would go to the leaderboards and see those outrageous high numbers and think, this can be real, these people are cheating, right? There are only 6 events, you can't stack that much points. Just for the next day you try it again and get something like this. Holy score system, Batman! What did I do different? Surprisingly, I recently got my answer when I discovered that Screamer actually has a Reddit page, and on there other players were asking the same thing. How the heck do you get points on this mode? Why sometimes I get a ton of points and other times I get nothing? Maybe you have to constantly do perfect boost or perfect shift to increase your points. Maybe you need to KO drivers in overdrive. Maybe there is a time limit. No, it's bugged.
What? Shh, it's okay. Anyway.
In the words of our friend Tangran3448, as far as I can tell, fight score tailing is bugged when racings are restart. If you start your race, the fight score you earn is saved and then will be added to whatever fight score you get on your next attempt, and so forth. One extra note, your driving points are also added for every restart as well. Yep, the key to the high score in this game is just to constantly restart, and when you are done restarting, you restart again just to be sure, then get a win to proceed to the next event so you can do the same thing 5 more times. Of course I had to try to be 100% sure. I went to Financial District, a personal favorite track of mine, which in hindsight I do not recommend choosing if you don't want to deal with a whole pack of overdriving AIs at lap 2. But yeah, did the same I done before, went crazy on KOs, but instead of finishing, I just restart the race. KO a bunch more, restart again, more KOs, restart another time, and another time, and another time. After 5 restarts, I decided it was enough and finished the event. And yup, here it is. Over 1 million on a single event. Now, I still had a personal goal to finish, so I went on. Next race, Rock the Valley. I like this track, AIs aren't that bad here too. Plenty of KOs and 3 restarts later, I already was over halfway there.
Right, whatever.
Next track, Ashes to Ashes. Easy, powerful shortcut, and AIs are pretty slow here too. By this point I was already an hour in on this score challenge and the fatigue was wearing. My highlight for this race was probably spending 15 minutes trying to take a good shot for the thumbnail. A few more restarts later, I had reached my goal, on the third event. Very nice. For the next events, I just rushed it. As long as I did not get the cradle as the last event on very hard, I was good to go. Not that matters going on very hard for the remaining events anyway. The duel was next, 3 laps on burning plains, super easy. Followed by the bonus overdrive event. I always choose the right one by the way if you are going for all the very hard events. The game does not warn you, but if you don't choose the one on the right, you won't get the 5 times multiplier. Finally, reaching the last boss event, which thankfully was not on Cradle, making it a cakewalk. I tried to get a few more fighting points here, but I always feel bad whenever I kill the dog, so I just rush it to the finish. Leaving this as my final score. That sure is a score. Can't say it was much of a challenge though. Well, unless you get unlucky and have to race on stuff like Downtown Run, Route 1N, Stadium Olympus, or other tracks where I just go full speed hack on your ass.
That's bait.
But at this point I would just recommend starting over in a run, cause getting first place on some of those tracks can be pretty freaking hard, even with infinite restarts. Then again, you don't need the 5-time multipliers on very hard if you are going to spend a whole hour on a single track.
That isn't enough! All is lost!
And yeah, you can do the same exploit with leaders, just know it will take more restarts as there are less drivers to KO here. So, we have no challenge here, probably no score too, as you could say all those players' high score are meaningless, as they were most likely achieved by just abusing this exploit, with the combination of having way too much time on their hand. I'm sure there are some people here on the top 100 that did not even know their points were being added for every restart they made, but the problem still stands. This is pretty depressing. With the already issues with the online play, realizing what a joke the score challenge mode actually is right now thanks to this major bug that hasn't been fixed yet, and combine the fact that the game is already on a 20% discount just 1 month after release, things are really falling apart very fast.
How could things get any worse?
Honestly, I did this video mostly to bring up this major issue, not only to the player base, but hopefully to the devs. I think we deserve better, or at least the game you guys create deserves better. Anyway, sorry for the rant, hopefully we will see some fix to this on later patches, followed by a full reset of the leaderboard, maybe also limit the restart depending on the difficulty, I don't know. Well, that's it for me. Go break some records so Milestone wakes up and do something about it. Ciao!